offense. If they can get Ricky Pearsall going, and then you have Brandon Ayuk, like you have all these weapons around you. They just got Trent Williams signed.
Yep.
That's everybody for them, right? Yeah. They don't have
that's the whole gang is
whole
back.
crew. There's no one else holding out. I mean, if Nick Bosa has a big year like they expect, like they're geared up and they are loaded for this year to go win.
I'll take the 49ers in the division. I do think it's going to be tight. So my division winners would be Eagles, Falcons, Lions, 49ers. So that's all chalk in the division, which means it's not going to happen. My 3 extra playoff teams would be Rams, Pack, Cowboys for your wild cards.
Yeah.
You're going boys to win the division? So you're
Rams,
going
Pack, Philly.
You're going boys, Falcons, Lions, Niners, and then Rams, Pack, Philly.
Shark, you writing this down?
I am not.
You're not even paying attention over there.
I'm listening to every word you said, and I thought about writing it down, but you know what? I have enough problem keeping track of your NFL picks every year.
And we're going to do our NFL picks tomorrow, too, against the number, as we do every single Thursday during game week. I'm looking to become, three-time champ, Shark? 4 times?
Yeah, Bob won year 1.
You won the last
2020.
I didn't.
And maybe you won 3 in a row.
Whoa. No, it would have been
That's
2
the
in a row.
fourth.
This is our 4th football season.
No, 2020 was our first.
2020, 2021.
And 21, 22, 23.
Wow,
Maybe I
right.
won 3 in a row.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Don't get crazy. How new offensive coordinator Chip Kelly assessed the Buckeye offense in his first game calling plays up at the box. You're going to hear from him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching crews clear up a crash at the intersection of East Dublin Granville Road and Tamarack Boulevard. Also watching crews clear up an overnight incident on 23, stretching between 752 and Circleville on the south side. Also, we are watching crews work 2 separate crashes on 161. Expect lane closures in both the east and westbound lanes on 161, stretching between Hamilton Road and 270. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Hey, welcome to IKEA's complete sleep event. Don't miss dreamy offers on sleep essentials.
I've tried carrying sheep, but keep losing track.
We've got you. IKEA family members save 15% off your purchase of $300 or more on select sleep comfort items. Check out comforters, pillows, and mattresses for all sleep styles, and so much more.
Ooh, can't wait.
You shouldn't. Go to IKEA-USA.com/bettersleep or visit your local store today. Offer valid August 7th through September 10th, U.S. only. See store and IKEA-USA.com for full details and eligible items. Restrictions apply.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this fresh deal on ground beef. 80% lean ground beef in 3-pound packages is only $3.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
How do people feel about getting Big Fitness Energy at Planet Fitness for $15 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster. That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $15 a month.
Hurry. Deal ends September 12th. Join today for $15 a month.
See Home Club for details.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand. Listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Who does Joe Biden have to thank for backing his extreme liberal agenda?
I want to thank my buddy Sherrod Brown.
Sherrod Brown backed Biden. voting to let transgender biological men participate in women's sports, and supported allowing puberty blockers and even sex change surgeries for minor children.
My buddy Sherrod Brown.
And Brown backed Bidenomics. Reckless Washington spending and inflation causing prices to soar. Groceries up 22%. Electricity up 32%. Gas up 50%. The Brown-Biden price increases are smothering hardworking Ohio families. Their extreme liberal policies are hurting Ohio. And who's to thank for this mess?
I want to thank my buddy Sherrod Brown.
Biden's buddy, Sherrod Brown. Way too liberal for Ohio. Vote no. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Trust. Not everyone deserves it. Not everyone should have it. It needs to be earned. Your trust. And when it comes to accurate information about Ohio's safe and secure elections, where should you turn? VoteOhio.gov. VoteOhio.gov is the source for providing you with the facts and real information about elections. So no matter where you are, what you do, or who you choose, get the real facts about Ohio's elections. VoteOhio.gov, your trusted elections source. Sponsored by the Ohio Secretary of State, Frank LaRose.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, going sunny skies, high 86. Clear tonight with a low of 57. Heading into your Thursday, looking at sunny skies, high 89. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TB weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Just got a text from Mayor. Dishwasher won't turn on, Bob. I don't know what to do about it. Guess I'll have to assess the situation when I get home. Says she unplugged the garbage disposal where that's usually at. Plugged in the dishwasher to the outlet. Now that the garbage disposal runs on. Tried the garbage disposal, before to see if the outlet had power because we had some wonky stuff happen with that. Went downstairs to look. Breaker was just fine. Won't turn on. Don't know what that's going to look like.
Well, but you changed the power outlets?
Yeah. And it still didn't work.
Oh, that might be the dishwasher then, Coach.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Call Carpenter Heating, Cooling, and Dishwashers.
Yeah. Do you guys do dishwashers?
Fix dishwashers.
Oh, it's technically plumbing, Bob. Water's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't know if the water's the problem.
Yeah,
I think the water would be coming in just fine.
Yeah.
There might be some electrical stuff and some paneling issues and different things that you need to worry about. That's not a good thing. We had our outlets go off in our garage yesterday, one of them on our deep freeze. And it's the one that, the bigger travesty is that it's the one that charges our kids' bikes.
Oh.
Yeah, or their e-bikes. So they weren't charged. So that was terrible because you think
they had
that's
to manually pedal to school.
Yeah, exactly. Well, can't go anywhere. And so we went down and tried to find. We have like 5 panels we have a sub panel upstairs. When you have houses that have been renovated and added onto, there's a panel upstairs. There's 3 panels in the basement. None of the circuits were popped. And so we're walking around and finally my wife, I give her credit, there's a GFI in the garage that she found. But it was like, we have shelving that I put in, so all the kids stack their shoes. Do they just sit their shoes in order? No, they pile them like 8 high and just throw them in there. So it was behind a couple bags. So thankfully yesterday, she was able to go through, found that, popped it, kicked it back on. And so all is right in the world again. But yeah, that's a brutal situation when it's not working.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen on that. James says, tell her not to unplug the disposal because it's on a switch. It will not work if the switch is off. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, James. I'll make sure that she knows that moving forward. Or I try that when I get home.
Wait, what was the suggestion?
James said, tell her not to plug it into the disposal because it's on a switch and it won't work if the switch is off.
You have to flip the switch up.
Don't know if we thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we thought about that.
I had an issue with that one time and I was trying to think why something wasn't working and it was, because the switch. I'm like, yeah, well, it's powered off of a switch.
Yeah.
The disposal doesn't run all the time. I forget what I was trying to do. We had something going on. But, yeah, it's a very astute comment.
Thank you, James, for the update on that. And I'll look at that when I get home. So who knows what's in store later today. A little thing called life, Bob. It's great. So we got and of course it's full. Yeah, we were going to run it this morning.
That's why you run the dishwashers at night, Beam.
Yeah, I forgot to when I went to bed last night.
That's on you.
Yeah, I know it was. That was my fault. I'll take full responsibility on that. Chip Kelly's first game as Ohio State offense coordinator is in the book. And here's what Chip Kelly was saying just in total about the offense as he assessed his guys against
I thought we
Akron.
were just okay. I mean, I thought we could have executed a little bit better, especially early. You know, sometimes you get caught up in, are we really diverse and giving them a lot of different looks? And then are we, I think really it's got to be focused more on our ability to execute. You know, what's a better operation to execute? So you got to be really self-aware when you're done. So, to go 4 plays on the first drive and be out, well, that's not good. I mean, everybody can tell you that. So not overly excited about that first drive. The first drive, the drive at the beginning of the second half was Will and JJ just made a great play. That wasn't like a great play call. That wasn't like, oh my God, we really dialed one up and there was a guy running clean down the field. We'll put the ball up with enough depth and air on it, and JJ made a great play on it, and then we scored a play later. So that was a 3-play drive, but that wasn't like, hey, we were dicing them up on that play. So there's always things you can do better, and I think you're always going to be critical. And it's about execution, and is everybody, not just the quarterback, but is everybody executing at what you need them to execute on? And if they're not, then what is the reason why? Were they confused with the call? Did we give them too many options? Did we not paint a really clear picture for them of what it's supposed to be like when they get out there and run the play? So we could be better, and I think it's a growth for all of us. It's a growth for our staff being together for the first time in game-like situations, and for the players themselves. So, there's that old adage that the biggest jump is from game 1 to game 2. So that gets you excited, when you get back in here on Sunday and start the game plan for Western Michigan.
That's exactly what you said, Bob. Biggest jump is from game 1 to game 2, so there should be a lot of hype and expectation and excitement in that building for what's about to come 7:30 Saturday night in the Horseshoe against Western Michigan.
Absolutely. And like you said, some of the plays that are great, they aren't great play calls. It's just guys making great plays.
Yeah. Great pass, great catch.
That really dialed it up. No, JJ beat his guy. Will threw them the ball. He threw a good pass. Like that wasn't something that we really dialed one up there. And so that's Chip.
Wasn't his first read?
Yeah, it's not. And even if it is, sometimes like calling a one-on-one shot down the side, that's not a great play call. It's expecting your guys to go win.
Yeah.
One of them to make a great throw, the other guy to make a great pass. So I love that Chip leans into all this. He does some great things. They have some exotic stuff in the run game. They're going to continue to develop that. There's going to be more and more pieces that we're going to see come out. And I'm excited for this to grow and develop with this team and with this squad. They're a smart group, and I'm anticipating Donovan Jackson, I'm guessing, will be back this week. So you have a full complement of all your weapons. And we'll see how that impacts the offensive line.
How about for the first time since taking over, and really here at Ohio State since his first year or two, Ryan Day not calling plays. Here was Chip Kelly on the contribution that Ryan Day gave him on Saturday.
Yeah, he was great. There were a couple of suggestions that we ran and were good. And, hey, let's get to this. And, okay, that's exactly it. I was maybe between 1 or 2, but, felt really good when he felt really good about it. So, the communication in between what they're doing, what we think they're doing, changing speeds, changing tempos, some of those things. I thought he did a really good job. But he's involved with the defense with Jim, and he's involved in the special teams with all the special teams guys too. So, I understand that role because I've been in it. Sometimes you can't get to the special teams and you can't get to defense because you're thinking about what your next series is going to be like offensively and spending time with your offensive coaches. So, but he really contributed a lot on Saturday offensively.
Yeah, and I would imagine that he would be, Bob, but he's just not going to be the solo play caller that we've seen. I mean, I know that last year it was him and Brian Hartline tag team in that thing, but at the same time, it alleviates a little bit of the stress and a little bit of the pressure knowing that you don't have to be so intricate play by play by play by play throughout an entire game.
Yeah, and when you're, like you said, when you're an offensive coordinator, you have to solve those problems. Those things are in your lap. You may not have time to get to the rest because by the time you're done with that, defense may have got a 3 and out or you're punting or whatever, and so there may be other issues. that you have a hard time. You're trying to delegate, but you can't have an overarching idea of what's going on because you're so in the weeds of what you're doing. Whereas now he can be a consultant on offense. Hey, here's the issues. Let's get them solved. Chip, this is what we want to get done. Figure it out. Get back to me. By the way, back on to the next. Defensively, what are we doing? Hey, where's the down and distance? What's the situation? How much time's left? Is this a punt? Is this a field goal situation? How does this work? What are they looking to do? All of those different things. That's the conversations that need to be had.
Dustin Schutte of SI, he's going to join the program. We'll break down the Big Ten solid week 1 in college football with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Still watching crews clear up lane restrictions on US 23 on the south side, stretching between 752 and Circleville. This is as they work to clear up an overnight crash. We're also still watching crews clear up a crash at the intersection of East Dublin, Granville Road, and Tamarack Boulevard. And if you're heading out the door in New Albany, expect some closures on 161, stretching between Hamilton Road and 270 in both directions as crews work to clear up 2 separate crashes. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island. You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
This week, find hot deals in one stop at Meijer. Shop select bulk apples for $1.49 per pound. Fresh from Meijer family pack chicken thighs for $1.29 per pound. And select General Mills cereal for $1.99. Plus, earn M-Perks points every time you shop for groceries, apparel, and at the pump. You even earn points at the Meijer Pharmacy. So schedule your flu shot today. Available now. Meijer has all you need in just one stop. And the same low Meijer prices in-store and online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Score a goal with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the checking account that rewards you for supporting the crew. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, official credit union of the Columbus Crew, federally insured by NCUA.
NFL action on Friday? You bet your sweet Pippi. Catch the Packers and Eagles live from Brazil. The fun starts Friday at 8 on ESPN Columbus. Where's that? The Fans HD2 or 1460 AM.
Sponsored by Roosters.
Your home of the NFL. The Fan.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Does our waiter look familiar?
I think he was the Plum Insurance mascot.
If all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use gimmicks, then their mascots would have to get real jobs.
That explains the long purple hair in my soup.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Oh, what?
Would you please just call the Waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean.
Better care, better value, better results.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
It's NFL week. It all kicks off tomorrow. And FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, has got a special offer to kick us all off. And I say all, because it's not even for new customers. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers, you can bet at $5 and get a three-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Just think about it. 8 games in the 1 o'clock window, Bob. That's good enough for 2 TV screens on the quad box. That's called the Octo Box.
Yeah.
How about that? I mean, 3 games in the 1 o'clock window, that's usually what I like to do, whether the Bears, Bengals, Browns are playing. Those 3 get main screen treatment. And then that 4th, I like to do the red zone. So, I mean, it's great. I put a dent in my couch on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, so, folks, do not wait on this. Football starts tomorrow. This will not be really advantageous until Sunday, but you only have until September 22nd. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/juice to download America's #1 sportsbook and get set up for the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Must be 21 and older in present Ohio. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check with our guy from SI. He is Dustin Schutte. Dustin, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Know that you're on Central Time, so it's a little bit earlier of a wake-up call for you, 6:36 in the morning. Just week number 1, Big Ten. Obviously, the conference went 17-1. It was a fantastic start. Only loser happened to be the Golden Gophers in Minnesota, who doinked a field goal at the very end. Other than that, Dustin, I mean, it was a pretty darn solid first week for the Big Ten Conference and their new 18-team league.
Yeah, I think it went pretty well in the debut for the new 18 teams. I mean, obviously the competition wasn't great. You did have some interesting matchups spread around there. Obviously, I think the premier matchup was that Penn State-West Virginia game, but the Nittany Lions went into Morgantown and took care of business relatively easily there. Probably from a conference perspective, would have liked to see Minnesota get the win. But then there were also you look at the overall 17-1, great weekend, but there were some concerning signs. I think Michigan struggled against Fresno State, especially on the offensive side. Their defense looked good, but where are they going to go? Where are they going to move forward, especially with the offensive line? And apparently they're going to play 2 quarterbacks. Wisconsin struggled a little bit with Western Michigan. That's a team that's coming into Columbus this weekend. So, they had their hands full over the weekend. And then Michigan State and Oregon, those 2 teams were pretty disappointing this weekend too. So generally speaking, 17-1, great weekend for an 18-team conference. But at the same time, I still think there's some question marks about a few teams out there.
So, I mean, Oregon obviously struggled with Idaho. The box score wouldn't tell you as much with passing from was 500 yards. Struggled running the ball, but moved the football pretty well. Is this an issue that could be corrected out in Eugene?
Yeah, I think so. I think the interesting thing is like you said, I looked at the box score after that game, and you would have thought that Oregon won that game 49-7, right? Like they just dominated every facet of that game. But I think the big concern there they were able to hit some deep passes early, but they weren't able to maybe do it consistently. This is a team that's going to go sideline to sideline. Their offensive line doesn't look like it's quite there yet. And maybe that's something they can improve upon going through the course of the season, obviously.
but I wasn't overly impressed with their offensive line play. And when they're coming into the Big Ten, that was a big question mark for some of those West Coast teams. Would the play in the trenches be able to hold up against the Big Ten? They didn't do it against Idaho, so that's a cause for concern. Now, I do have faith. Look, anybody who can turn Bo Nix into, what he was at Auburn into a Heisman caliber candidate and an NFL caliber quarterback, I have faith that Dan Lanning can get this thing figured out, but not a great showing from the Ducks, and I think a lot of it had to do with that sideline to sideline type of offense, and their offensive line just didn't hold up. They couldn't create those big plays consistently.
Any worry about them? And I know that we'll look, back to week one here in a second, but any worry about them hosting Boise this weekend, Dustin?
I think that game's a lot more interesting. I mean, I think that they'll probably win that game. I don't know enough about Boise State, but that's been a solid program for a lot of years. I think defensively they played mostly well on the defensive side, in my opinion. It's just the question marks on that offensive line. So can they make a big step forward in that now that they know where they need to address some of their concerns? I do think there's a little bit of worry with Boise State coming in, but I think the Ducks will get the win. It's just a matter of how much better they look from week 1 to week 2.
He is Dustin Schutte of SI with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. I know that I wasn't really a believer in USC. I don't think Bob was either. I don't know about you, Dustin, but the eye test, they looked like an entirely different football team who actually possesses a defense on Sunday night against LSU. That was a nice first win for Lincoln Riley and the Trojans.
Yeah, that was huge. And I think, obviously the defense is going to get a lot of the credit, and as they should. Lincoln Riley made a big switch going from Alex Grinch to DeAnton Lynn. I don't know that I want to say that their defense is completely fixed and that it's going to be, one of the top-tier defenses in the Big Ten, because this is an LSU offense that, is ushering in a new quarterback, right? Like they don't have Jaden Daniel under center anymore. So this is a team that's kind of going through that transformation process. I don't know quite how good the USC defense is, but I think you saw that it has taken a step forward. And if you're able to not be in the bottom, whatever they were, the bottom, like the last 15 spots in FBS in terms of scoring defense and total defense like they were a season ago, then I think that they can be really competitive. And again, with the way that you saw some of those teams play, Oregon didn't look great. Michigan obviously struggled. Iowa had some first half issues. Could USC creep up into that Big Ten championship conversation? No, it's week 1. I know that's, jumping the shark a little bit, but I think if their defense is really a top half FBS defense, I think they can be in that conversation. And then again, the play of Miller Moss, just to come down the stretch and lead 2 huge drives, the touchdown pass to go ahead 20-17, and then lead that final go ahead touchdown drive there at the end. I was really impressed with his poise in a big time moment on a big time stage.
Michigan struggling a little bit with Fresno. Needed Will Johnson's 80-yard touchdown interception for a touchdown, throw another one out at the end. It looks good in the final, but didn't feel great probably with about 5 to 6 minutes to go. They're welcoming in Texas, who looked very good. How do we feel about that, Dustin, for Michigan's chances? And do you think this thing gets stretched a little bit at the end?
Yeah, to me, I saw that line opening up at like Texas -5, and I felt like that was guaranteed money at that point to bet on Texas, because I just don't have any faith. I still think that Michigan's defense is really good. I think it'll be a top 3 or 4 defense in the Big Ten. I think they have a lot of playmakers. They were able to be disruptive in the backfield. They only allowed, 9 rushing yards on 22 attempts against Fresno. So I still think defensively, and as you mentioned, Bobby, they made a big play. Will Johnson getting the game-sealing INT, pick 6 there for them. But offensively, they only had 269 yards against Fresno State. Donovan Edwards, who was supposed to be a top 3 or 4, maybe 5 running back in the Big Ten, had 27 yards. They worked in 2 quarterbacks, and Sharon Moore said in his press conference this week, we got to get better on the offensive line. He thinks that's going to happen. I had some concerns about that area. And then he used kind of the cringe word words when you're talking about a quarterback, and that's game manager and Davis Warren. To me, they just don't have the playmakers to have just a game manager. In previous years, J.J. McCarthy or Cade McNamara, they could be game managers, and you'd have enough faith that Michigan would get it done. To me, they don't have the same playmakers at running back or wide receiver this season where he can just be a game manager. He's going to have to make some deep throws. He's going to have to make some big plays. I just didn't see that from him. So I don't think this Texas-Michigan game is going to be particularly close, and I'm not just playing up to the home audience. It may not be a blowout, but I feel like Texas is going to linger in that 10 to 17-point advantage most of the game, where maybe they don't run away with it, but you never really feel like Michigan has a chance to win that game.
Dustin, before we get you out of here, more interesting game because we got a couple of good ones as well in the Big Ten. The Cyhawk is a 3:30 kickoff, offensive explosion last week from Iowa, and then the return leg not being played in Colorado but being played in Lincoln. You have Colorado visiting the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
If you like 6-3 smash mouth football, then the Cyhawk game is going to be just for you. To me, I think the more interesting game, obviously, is going to be Colorado and Nebraska because of what happened last year in Boulder, because of, obviously, the Deion Sanders effect. But then Dylan Raiola, who played really well in his first game as a college quarterback, 19 to 27, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns. They feel like they have 4 really talented running backs that can get the job done. They had Isaiah Naylor, who went 121 yards on the receiving. This is a Nebraska team that's been really good defensively in the past. Now they finally have the offensive weapons, and I just don't think Colorado has the play in the trenches on either side. But this is going to be new territory for Dylan Raiola. Yeah, he's got a college start under his belt, but he hasn't been in the prime time, and I don't mean to use the pun there, but he hasn't been in that prime time atmosphere before. Colorado, even though they were 4-8, they've played in a few of these games. So does experience matter? We'll see. This is going to be a really interesting game, but I was really impressed with what Nebraska did, which adds to the interest and the intrigue for this game between the Huskers and the Buffaloes.
Dustin, always appreciate the time, buddy. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy week 2, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Bobby. Enjoy week 2.
There he goes, Dustin Schutte of SI with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get Juice next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Watch for crews still working to clear a crash on 23, both directions with some lane restrictions stretching from Circleville to 752. Also watching a crash on State Route 104 eastbound right at the 71 split. The right shoulder blocked off over there. And watch for crews blocking lanes over on 161 in both directions because of a couple crashes stretching between Hamilton Road and 270. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? That sounds amazing. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine. And if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, I've had it before. I've had it in my knee. I went and saw the professionals, the experts at QC Kinetics. They're the leaders